Welcome to Streaming News Network by Claude McDaniel. News without the hype and biased reporting. Please like and subscribe.
This is Claude McDaniel with Streaming News Network. Authorities in Thailand are investigating the death of an American tourist found at a hotel in the beach city of Pattaya. Police say the 50-year-old man was discovered Monday morning on the 6th-floor balcony of a 7-story hotel along Jomtien 2 Road. Witnesses reportedly contacted emergency responders after noticing the man slumped over the balcony railing. Investigators say there were no immediate signs of violence either inside the hotel room or on the man's body. Officials estimate he had been dead for roughly 3 hours before he was found. At the time, police say he was wearing gray jeans and slippers. The man's identity has not yet been released publicly while authorities work to notify family members. An autopsy is now expected to determine the exact cause of death. According to the United States Embassy in Thailand, local officials typically notify embassy representatives whenever an American citizen dies in the country. Embassy personnel then assist in contacting the victim's next of kin. Thailand remains one of the most visited destinations in Southeast Asia for American travelers, though government data has also shown a high number of accidental and unnatural deaths involving tourists, including motorcycle crashes and suicides. Pattaya, known internationally for its nightlife and entertainment districts, attracts millions of visitors each year. This is Streaming News Network. The National Football League is mourning the loss of longtime assistant coach Sherman Lewis, who has died at the age of 83. Lewis spent more than 2 decades coaching in the NFL and became widely respected as one of the league's top offensive minds. He first gained national attention as running backs coach for the San Francisco 49ers under legendary head coach Bill Walsh during the 1980s. During that stretch, Lewis helped the team capture 3 Super Bowl championships. He later added a 4th Super Bowl ring with the Green Bay Packers while serving as offensive coordinator throughout much of the 1990s. Lewis also held coordinator positions with the Minnesota Vikings and the Detroit Lions. Before entering the professional ranks, Lewis coached at Michigan State University for more than a decade. He had also starred there as a player, finishing 3rd in Heisman Trophy voting in 1963 behind future football legends Roger Staubach and Billy Lothridge. Lewis was equally accomplished in track and field, winning multiple Big Ten championships in sprinting and long jump events. His final coaching role came in 2009 with the Washington Redskins, where he briefly came out of retirement to help lead the offense. Sherman Lewis is being remembered across the football world for his innovation, leadership, and decades of dedication to the game. This is Streaming News Network. Duck Dynasty star Al Robertson is speaking publicly about a difficult chapter in his marriage, revealing that he and his wife Lisa overcame infidelity and ultimately rebuilt their relationship. In a recent interview discussing the couple's new Lifetime special, Faith and Forgiveness, Robertson shared that Lisa had an affair roughly 15 years into their marriage. Rather than ending the relationship, the couple chose to work through the pain together. Robertson said many marriages do not survive unfaithfulness, but he believes healing and reconciliation are possible. He also admitted that his own past mistakes played a major role in his decision to stay committed to the marriage. According to Robertson, he had also been unfaithful earlier in their relationship, and Lisa forgave him before they eventually married. The television personality reflected on challenges that existed from the beginning of their relationship, saying he failed to fully support Lisa emotionally during the early years of his career. He also acknowledged that she was dealing with personal struggles from her past that he did not fully recognize at the time. The couple's story is now being featured in the Lifetime Project, which focuses on faith, forgiveness, and rebuilding trust after betrayal. Robertson says he hopes their experience encourages other couples facing similar hardships. This is Streaming News Network. Kristi Noem is facing renewed criticism following reports that several inmates granted early release during her time as governor of South Dakota have since been accused of new crimes. According to the report, 12 of the 19 prisoners whose sentences were commuted directly by Noem later faced additional criminal allegations or charges after leaving prison. The commutations were considered unusual because they reportedly bypassed the traditional review process handled by the State Board of Pardons and Paroles. Officials say 3 inmates released in 2022 later pleaded guilty to crimes including drug possession, misdemeanor domestic violence, and driving under the influence. 9 additional inmates released in 2023 were also investigated or charged in connection with offenses ranging from drug possession and distribution to domestic violence. One domestic violence charge was later dismissed. South Dakota law gives the governor sole authority to grant pardons and commute prison sentences. Normally, however, applications first go through a lengthy review process involving interviews, conduct evaluations, and recommendations from the parole board before reaching the governor's desk. Noem reportedly issued 27 commutations and more than 300 pardons while serving as governor from 2019 through 2025. Her successor, Larry Roden, has defended the current system and says he does not believe major changes are needed. Meanwhile, Congressman Dusty Johnson, who is running for governor, says he supports reforms aimed at strengthening public safety and reviewing how clemency decisions are handled in the future. This is Streaming News Network. A major courtroom ruling has dealt a significant setback to prosecutors in the murder case against Luigi Mangione, the 28-year-old man accused of killing Brian Thompson, the chief executive officer of United Healthcare. On Monday, Manhattan Supreme Court Justice Gregory Caro ruled that key evidence recovered during Mangione's arrest in Pennsylvania cannot be used at trial. The judge determined that police conducted an unconstitutional warrantless search of the suspect's backpack while arresting him inside a fast food restaurant in Altoona. Investigators had recovered physical and digital evidence from the bag following Mangione's capture in December of 2024. Authorities say he was arrested after a customer recognized him during a nationwide manhunt connected to the fatal shooting of Thompson in Midtown Manhattan. Prosecutors allege Thompson was gunned down on a crowded sidewalk while heading to a corporate investors event for United Health Group. The killing triggered a massive search effort that lasted several days before Mangione was taken into custody. Defense attorneys argued the backpack was no longer within the suspect's immediate control once officers detained and handcuffed him, meaning police should have first obtained a search warrant before opening the bag. Justice Caro agreed, ruling that emergency circumstances did not justify the search. The exclusion of the evidence could complicate the prosecution's case as the trial moves toward its scheduled September start date. This is Streaming News Network. Mexican authorities are investigating a brutal mass shooting that left 10 people dead in the small town of Tehuantzingo in the state of Puebla. Officials say gunmen stormed the community before dawn Sunday and opened fire, killing 6 men, 3 women, and 1 child. Investigators have not identified any suspects, but the attack is intensifying fears over escalating cartel-related violence across central Mexico. Federal authorities are now involved in the investigation as residents demand answers and increased security. The massacre follows several other deadly attacks in the region in recent months, including the killings of 6 people in nearby Huejutlan El Grande earlier this year and another shooting in Puebla's capital that left 3 people dead. Meanwhile, violence is also spreading in the southern state of Guerrero, where hundreds of families have reportedly fled their homes after armed groups launched attacks using explosives dropped from drones and high-powered weapons. Community organizations say between 800 and 1,000 families escaped mountain villages after days of violence linked to a criminal organization known as Los Ardillos. Videos circulating online show frightened families, including children and elderly residents, leaving their homes before sunrise carrying only backpacks and basic belongings. Other footage appears to capture gunfire echoing across rural farmland and homemade explosive devices attached to drones. Human rights groups warn the growing violence is creating a humanitarian crisis in parts of Mexico already struggling with organized crime and weak security protections. This is Streaming News Network. New engagement rumors are swirling around Jennifer Aniston after the actress shared a rare personal photo with boyfriend Jim Curtis. The speculation began when the former Friends star posted a black-and-white birthday image featuring Curtis late last year, referring to him as "my love" in the caption. Fans quickly noticed what appeared to be a ring on Aniston's left hand, sparking online rumors that the couple may be engaged. Neither Aniston nor Curtis has publicly confirmed those reports. Entertainment outlets now report the pair recently celebrated 1 year together. Curtis, a hypnotherapist and wellness author, is said to have first connected with Aniston through mutual friends before their relationship turned romantic. Sources close to the couple describe the relationship as supportive and grounded. At the same time, renewed attention is being focused on Aniston's past marriage to Brad Pitt. Reports have circulated about a possible scripted television or streaming project revisiting the highly publicized breakup between Aniston, Pitt, and later Angelina Jolie. However, no studio or network has officially announced such a production. Aniston and Pitt married in 2000 and split in 2005, shortly before Pitt's relationship with Jolie became public during the filming of Mr. and Mrs. Smith. The celebrity triangle became one of Hollywood's most closely followed stories for years. For now, Aniston has remained silent on both the engagement speculation and the rumored television project, while fans continue closely watching for any new developments. This is Streaming News Network. A Minnesota business owner is facing felony fraud charges after investigators accused him of operating a large-scale financial transaction and food assistance scheme. Court records identify the suspect as Abdulwahid Mohammed, owner of Minnesota Food Grocery Limited Liability Company. Prosecutors in Hennepin County have filed one felony count of financial transaction card fraud. According to investigators, the case began after a major retailer reported suspicious purchasing activity linked to electronic benefit transfer cards, commonly known as EBT cards. Authorities say the investigation was later taken over by the Minnesota Bureau of Criminal Apprehension. Court documents allege Mohammed used cards registered to other individuals to make large purchases at wholesale retailers, including warehouse stores, before reselling the items through his grocery business. Surveillance footage, GPS tracking, and transaction records were reportedly used as evidence in the investigation. Investigators also claim several cardholders either denied making the purchases or were outside the country at the time the transactions occurred. Prosecutors allege the operation involved more than $1 million in food assistance benefits over several months in 2021. If convicted, Mohammed could face significant prison time and financial penalties under Minnesota law. A unanimous ruling from the Supreme Court of the United States could have major consequences for the trucking industry and for families seeking accountability after deadly highway crashes involving commercial trucks. In a 9-0 decision issued in the case of Montgomery v. Caribe Transport, the court ruled that freight brokers may now be sued for negligent hiring practices when selecting trucking companies to transport goods. Freight brokers serve as middlemen in the shipping industry, connecting businesses needing freight moved with trucking carriers and drivers. For years, brokers often argued they could not be held legally responsible for accidents caused by the carriers they hired. Supporters of the ruling say the decision strengthens accountability across the industry and could pressure brokers to more carefully review safety records and driver qualifications before awarding contracts. The case has also intensified debate over concerns involving poorly vetted trucking operations and the hiring of drivers with questionable training or immigration status. Critics argue some brokers prioritized lower costs over highway safety, while trucking advocates say the ruling could help reduce dangerous practices and improve oversight. Families of crash victims praised the decision, saying it may finally provide a legal path to pursue damages not only against drivers and trucking companies, but also against brokers accused of ignoring warning signs about unsafe carriers. Industry analysts expect the ruling could reshape how freight brokers conduct business nationwide, with greater scrutiny likely placed on hiring standards, carrier safety histories, and compliance practices moving forward. This has been a report by Claude McDaniel of Streaming News Network.
Thank you for listening to Streaming News Network videos and shorts. Please like and subscribe to our news channel.